Hello, pursuers. Welcome to another episode of the Pursuit of Happiness podcast. I'm your podcast host, Naz Kazimi. We are getting into some pursuer questions today. I have some that I haven't been able to get to. So I just thought that it would be perfect. Lots going on in my life right now. You guys will hear about it soon. But for now, we are getting ready to go back home to Mexico. So in the meantime, here's a pursuer's Ask Me Anything, the Dear Nos segment, as I like to call it. This one's great. No, this one's about career and money. Is it dumb to follow passion over paycheck? This is the right person to be asking because I was just having a conversation about this with my friend last night. I am such a risk taker when it comes to wanting to pursue my passion. It could be the ADHD in me. It could be the fact that I have grown enough to see that I don't want to be stuck in a rat race that I see a lot of people stuck in. I know a lot of people that are now, older than me. Obviously, I'm in my early 40s, but I've met people that are retiring or close to retirement and they're unhappy and they feel like they've just worked their entire lives and they didn't really get to enjoy it. And now that they want to enjoy it, they're either disabled due to health issues or, for example, my dad being one of them, or they don't have the energy to travel like they thought that they would when they're hitting this age. They don't have the funds. Like they're able to retire, but not necessarily like live lavishly and travel. So there's a huge correlation to, quitting your work to go after what you passionately want and this is an element that people like myself kind of figure it'll come once you do it. It's like I feel like if I follow my passion, because it straight comes from the heart, and this is where my spirituality and my God comes into play. I feel like he can see that the intention is correct, and so he's going to help me, or the forces of nature or whatever you want to call it will help me pursue in that direction, and eventually the money will come. It's because it's something that I want to do passionately, and that work will always kind of be work, even if it's your passion. Like some days you're going to wake up and be like, oh, I don't want to do this, but it's so much better when it's your passion because it's something that you love to do, and I feel like absolutely go for your passion, absolutely. But the way that I did it is, and like for example, this is where me and my family come into a lot of areas of contention, is because they feel like I'm riding on their coattails, so to speak, while I'm trying to pursue my passion. Like the times that I don't have money or I'm just literally living paycheck to paycheck, I rely a little bit more on them financially, and it might be so, yeah. Now, it's not like I put guns to people's heads and I'm like, give me money. I just ask. And sometimes I feel like that's all they can offer. They're not really good at supporting me verbally, emotionally, mentally. They're not really good at doing many of the other things. But when it comes to finances, if I ask with a little bit of a hesitation, sure, they're able to help me out, Sometimes it takes a long time for me to be able to pay them back. But see, so that exactly, like that contention that money brings is what I hate about people not pursuing their passion. It's because they become so, and people are going to fight me on this, they become so, it's just all about the money. And that's the world that we've been accustomed to live in. It just becomes like, well, everything now is about money. If you're making money, then that's great. If you're not making money, then you're nobody in this life, and I feel like myself and a lot of people included that follow their passions rather than necessarily always following the paycheck comes once you follow your passion, but initially that motivation is because of the feeling that you're now controlled by money, and every decision that you make is based on money. And I get it. Some people are not fortunate enough to have family that are able to support them or build a life. It might be a little bit late, or they don't know where to start to build like a lifestyle where it's not necessarily reliant on money, but they have income coming in to support them moving forward. Like, I don't 1000% rely on my family. I still have over $2,000 of income coming in for myself. But it's just not the lifestyle that I used to have before. And sometimes I am short with some things, not all the time, but sometimes, right? But for someone that wants to start off and go pursue their passion, that might not be available, because then if they have to leave their job, where is that going to come from? So in a way, that's why I look at it like I'm so grateful that I'm able to do it, and grateful that, yes, the family-wise aspect of it, but I built this for 20 years now. This isn't to discourage anybody and say don't go for it, but also, like, consider that you might not just be able to go 100% in for it right away. It's going to be like steps to get there till you're 100% able to not necessarily be focused on a job, because you do, especially when you get older, you work in 9 to 5, 10 to 6, 11 to 7, sometimes extra hours. You're exhausted when you come home. Some people can't even go to the gym because they're so exhausted, and then they put their health on the back burner. Imagine if you want to follow your passion, I would think that health comes over passion. People work 8 hours a day and they're so exhausted they can't even go to the gym after. So now imagine you want to work on your passion. So think about it thoroughly. I don't think it's a bad idea at all. I think it's the best you can do for yourself, because that will also tie in with your health and eventually a paycheck and an income. But don't be so naive and just completely cut everything off and go into it, because then when you're stuck and you aren't able to pay and you aren't able to do the food thing, like, what are you going to do? I always said if I didn't have my daughter, I would gladly be living in my car or a car or somewhere where, I would just leave everything in storage. I'd gladly pay money to have my stuff in storage and just kind of be nomading around until I figured it out. Yeah. Bougie Nas says that because I'm willing to take that risk. But not everyone does that, and not everyone should do that. So please reevaluate that. And if it's something that you want to do, absolutely chase your passion. No one's telling you not to. Do it in steps. I'm not saying don't also quit your job. If you're at a shitty job and it's making your mental health way more stress or whatever, maybe cut down hours. Find something else in the meantime that's kind of like brainless and that won't affect you so much that you can't put that time and energy into it. For anyone pursuing passion, I would recommend 2 things. Make sure that you have a routine for your gym, because it's exhausting and you're going to have days where you don't have energy, and surprisingly enough, the gym gives you energy, and it just gives you a boost of confidence that sometimes you're searching for when you're in a state of like, is this going to work? What the fuck have I done? How am I going to get there? And there's going to be a lot of disconnecting with people that you thought might have your back or would support it, because people can't see past what they don't know. People can't see past what they do know. Okay? So if someone is used to a life where they're constantly working and they're bringing in income, it's hard for them to relate to someone that wants to just quit everything and go for something that, they're passionate about. And I maybe just haven't worked a regular job in the past 5 years since I haven't been at the gym. I resigned from the gym in 2021, I believe it was, or 2022. So it's just literally been the past 5 years that I've just been literally focusing on my career. But like throughout having all the jobs in the past that I worked for someone, as an employee, I've always been trying to like start businesses, and they failed. I wasn't as passionate about it, or I was like, forget this. I have something else to rely on, which was my job. I was like, if this is not going to work out, I just don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. But I think at this age, at almost 42, I'm 41 now, with all the experience and whatnot that I've kind of built, I'm so much more passionate and confident about what I'm trying to build now that there's no stopping me now. And I'm starting to see with the things I do every day for it, it's starting to come to fruition. But I don't have the support of many people for that. That's something that I had to really dig deep inside me and find. And I've always believed that I am going to be an entrepreneur of some sort, and I'm going to own my own business, and it's going to be something that influences people. that belief I've always had. So I can only relate this to myself because I don't know everybody and everyone's situation, nor did this question really offer much context. But what I can say is the gym helps, and doing the little things every day that's going to help you get to that passion that you want will help. But the number one thing that's going to really do anything is the confidence that you have. If you're not quite sure, I still would say go for it, but I'm that kind of risk taker. I would say make sure. Just make sure, because it is a huge life change. You lose friends. You will go through the down of the down. You will be depressed. It's just something that, and now I understand. It is just like kind of bodybuilding and going to the gym. Everyone can do it, but not a lot of people do. And I understand why, because it just takes so much out of you. And again, I'm going to make this come back full circle. Like the whole reason that I didn't want to be one of those people that's just stuck in the rat race is because I always look at life and I'm like, there's so much more for me in store. I just haven't gotten it yet. Like I can feel it. So that's a lot of where that confidence comes from. It's just a feeling that I have, and some people can hear me say this and be like, well, that's just stupid. Like your feeling is stupid. There's no such thing. Okay, that's cool. Those are the people that, like I say, won't necessarily support your dreams, but you can't be affected by what those people think. If you have a passion, go for it. Because you're going to wake up in 10 more years and you're 10 more years older. And you're going to have that wisdom. But you might not necessarily have the time. And that's the thing that sucks, is you just never know what tomorrow's going to bring. So just focus on, even when it comes to the gym, this is a metaphor, a tip, a whatever that can help you in any kind of aspects of your life. Take the few minutes every day that you need to, so that you can get to that big goal. Break it down into like 5-minute steps every day. Me getting back to the gym, 5 minutes every day leads to 30 minutes. Now it leads to like, okay, I'm feeling it. I want to spend a little bit more time, so when I'm back in Mexico, I'm going to definitely get a gym membership and start, because part of the reason that I moved there in the first place was I wanted a detox from life in general. I just kind of wanted to like bear back everything again, take my lashes off, take my nails off, be in a state where I'm not surrounded by much, and rebuild from there and see what it is that I really want to do. And every day I did little things that I could, as much as I could, obviously not endangering me or my daughter or my dog, and not putting ourselves in dangerous situations, but doing the best that I could. And when I came back to Canada for the visit, all of a sudden in my inbox, I have like a couple brand membership things, like requests, and things just kind of like were starting to work out. I was like, oh wow, like when you're not waiting for it to happen, you're just doing little steps every day, it will come. But sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard not to think, okay, when's this going to happen for me? Like I've been doing this for so long. And that's when you really got to muster up and think about all the times that you've kind of wanted to quit and be like, no, I believe in myself so much, this is going to happen for me. Believe in yourself, believe in what you can offer, believe in your products, absolutely chase your passions. That's what we're put on this earth for. That's what I believe. Who decided, like, let's create humans and put them on earth so they can constantly be working 40-hour plus weeks, never travel, no anything, so they can pay the government. Like, I don't think at the beginning of time that's what it was meant for. I don't think God put us on this earth to be like, okay, or whatever, the Big Bang Theory. Humans are going to do this. These are just ideas, and I don't want to get too, like, conspiracy theory or whatever people call it. I don't want to get too, like, be woke, I just want to give straight up advice, but I just don't think that that's what human beings were created for. And if I had to choose between the concept of working for the rest of your life just to pay the government and taxes, and there's a certain age that you have to retire, as said by the government, government are people too, and they're just following what was done before them, and maybe thinking that they can enhance it. I'm going to go more towards the notion of why not just as an animal species with coherently more brain matter that we can actually think and have a conscience, why not pursue your dreams? Why not pursue your passions? Why be stuck in a rat race? Why not create a business where you could employ more people, where we have a society where there's so much demand for jobs? Why not? Why not be that boss? You have it in you. Even if it's just a one-man team. Because so far my business is just a one-man. My brand is just me right now. I can't afford to have anything else. It's just me working on me. And why not have that? Why do I not deserve that? I deserve that and more. And I'm going to work hard for that and more. And if that comes at a cost of not being at a good place with my family and having not many people believing me, I'm going to flex and build that muscle that I believe in myself so much and build that confidence that then my self-worth is not going to be tied into things such as my body mass. Got that from the Big Bang Theory. When Sheldon was, I've been watching it lately. It's so good. My self-worth is going to be tied into the effort that I put in to get to where I want, despite what people said, despite what family said. And I think that's powerful. And that's the magic that I'm kind of, that's the light that I see at the end of the tunnel. So it's tough, you guys. It's fucking tough. I'm not saying that it's easy. So please, if it's somehow coming across that it's easy, I don't know. I look at everything from such a philosophical type point of view. So I see a bunch of other questions on here, like, how do I ask for a raise without sounding entitled? Like, I don't know if I could, like, my brother, because he's in corporate, might be able to answer questions like this more, like, concise. Like, okay, go to your boss, say this, ask for a review, go get your performance reviews, things like this. Like, I don't have that kind of experience and not much of it anyway. So I come from, like, looking at a question like that, which it is, I'd be like, go and talk to your boss. Say, like, me as being a boss before and running a gym, like, highlight all the things that you've done and be like, look, past 6 months, past year, I don't even know if your business has these reviews or not, where they call performance reviews, but highlight the things that you've done for the company. Because every time someone wanted a raise from me, that's what, sorry, the dog's next to me if you hear him. But those are the things that we would have to, or we would ask, or we would have to show if we wanted a raise. Or if an employee wanted a raise, we would ask them to highlight things that they've done and where they think they would stand, how they think that this benefits the company, and what kind of raise are they looking at. And then we'd have to go back to our owners and essentially ask them, because they're the ones that did it. Unfortunately, I don't really have any control when it came to the pay and whatnot. But, like, I, again, come from a more, like, philosophical, like, thought process kind of view, like, deep thinking, some people are very just, like, practical, like, this is what you have to do, and I have a more, like, theoretical aspect to it, so that's where I feel like I can benefit, like, and consult people, but anyways, I'm not going to really answer that because, but now that I've kind of mentioned it, that would be my thing. I'm not going to get too much into it, but how do I ask for a raise without sounding entitled? If you want, start writing up everything that you've done for the company that has improved it and go in with what you're expecting the raise to be and why. I would say more even in between a range would seem more appropriate as being a boss before and as being an employee before that has been asked and has asked for that. This is what I've done. Have at least 5 important things. And it has to be things that you've done, not things that you want to do. Because as a boss, for me, it's like, I don't care what is going to come up next. Like, do it and then come talk to me about it, Propose, let's get it, let's implement it, and then let's move forward. This is the corporate side of me talking. But, and then give a range, give why, your highlights, what you've contributed to the company. Either the worst that's going to happen is a no, or it's going to be given and you just have to work out the details of how much. So it's not that hard. Does it suck? Absolutely. Sometimes you just wish that people would notice, but sometimes there's just too many employees to notice. Again, part of the reason that, I'm following my own passion, but I don't think that's entitled. I think I think just going in there and asking for it without kind of backing yourself up is a little bit more entitled. But having the proof, look, I've contributed this, highlight it, write it down, every fact, every detail. Have a nice little presentation, a little portfolio of what you want to do, Go into your boss's, schedule a meeting, go into that meeting, and kind of present to them your thoughts. And, I mean, this is great. This is initiative. This shows initiative. This shows that you're then thinking about it, that you were able to I was going to say conjure, but gather up some facts, and then you present it to them. And I mean, again, the worst that can happen is they say, no, not at this time. Let's do a performance review. That conversation can go so many ways. Okay. Here's a question, and I think it comes from a healings and breakup sort of category. It goes, how do you know that you've truly healed? I don't know if you truly heal from things that have like happened in your life. I think that you move on from them and you learn from them. Sometimes the wounds will always be there, because I know for myself, I've forgiven a lot of people, but sometimes when I think about things that have happened, I just want to oh, that person pissed me off when they did that. My dog is behind me scratching, so I'm so sorry if the mic's picking it up. I hope not. Just had to stop and listen to the mic, and no, it's not picking it up. So wow, this mic is really great. Dynamic guys, dynamic mics. No, wait, this is the dynamic mic. The condensed mic picks up more. But anyways, I find like when you've truly healed is when you're able to move on and not always. Okay, for example, and this is a tough one for me, but my dog passing away. I don't know if I've truly healed from my first dog ever passing away. I think sometimes when I think about it too much, or it depends the context of how I'm speaking about him, I am going to start crying and get emotional. So have I truly healed? I don't know. I think that wound will always sort of be open. That's traumatic. It's just, you're in the room with them, and it was just crazy. But have I moved on from it? Absolutely, because I can go my day by day. I've lived life. He passed away in 2017. I ended up getting another dog, and maybe getting another dog, knowing and not replacing him, but knowing that I have that much love to give is something that helped kind of heal that wound. But I don't think that I'm truly ever healed. I think that trauma comes from, and sometimes trauma is a good thing or a bad thing, but obviously it carries more of a negative connotation, but it's just things that have happened in your life and that you learn from them, but you can never erase that it's happened. So to be fully healed, I think when it comes to emotional, mental damage, you don't really fully heal. It's not like a physical break or tear. Even physical breaks or tears, they have lingering effects. Like if someone's broken their leg, they're more susceptible to that leg being broken. Like it's like they have to be more careful. You've pulled a tendon, or your bicep falls off the muscle, the muscle falls off the bone. You have to be so much more careful moving forward because you're more prone to that happening again. So even physical pains don't necessarily fully heal. They heal, but to an extent. And now it's like, you have to be more cautious with that. You know what I'm saying? So being fully healed, I don't think is an actual thing that happens. I think we just learn from this mistake and then we move on. And the shittiest part is those people that don't learn and they keep making that mistake over and over again, where the definition of an insanity comes in is like you're expecting different results, but you're doing the same thing over and over again. And that could be like a wound thing where they're just trying to kind of like that therapy where, and I forgot the name, but it's like where you kind of experience it again. Like sometimes going back to the place where the event happened will help you get over whether it's the fear or the PTSD from it, or just minimize it a lot more than how it is initially. I know for me that helps. Sometimes like when I used to work at a restaurant and I didn't work there anymore due to just bad choices that I made, I didn't go to that restaurant for a long time. So the thoughts that I kept bringing back gave me a lot of PTSD. But then when I finally went back to that restaurant, it all disappeared. And it kind of like healed that wound of me thinking that it was just this negative place. And you know what I'm saying? And I really use that term loosely, like healed. It's not really like, again, healing means like it's just, I mean, even you break a glass, it doesn't go back to being 1000% perfect, So there are many things that I feel happen to us, and does it really actually heal? No. Some things do, like fully, like you're just completely moved on from it. You don't give a shit about that person anymore, or that event that's happened, and you're like completely withdrawn and detached and you've moved on. But even maybe being withdrawn or detached, and these are just words that I'm using, could be a way of closing yourself off or healing your, so to speak, healing quote unquote, so that you don't necessarily feel the pain of that anymore, So back to the question, do you fully heal? How do you know if you're truly healed? I think that you know that you're ready to move on when it doesn't bug you anymore and you're indifferent to it. But the reason that now you've become indifferent is because you've experienced it in the first place, and you realize that it's just, this is the place that you had to get to be able to move on. So are you truly healed? Some might say sure, but I think when you're finally at a place of indifference and you're able to move on with your life and you're able to live and you're not crying every day, it's on the path, to recovery. But are you ever really truly recovered? Is an addict ever really not an addict? No. They might not be using and they're working on themselves, but that they have to be more cautious when they're around certain things that are, so to speak, are called triggers, because they're never really truly healed from it. So that's just my opinion. Other people might have differing opinions, but yeah. This is a good question. How do you stop checking their social media? Block them, delete them. But if you have to for the first little while, keep doing it. Because eventually you get to a point where you're like, because for me, every time that I would go through something where I hated somebody or there was a big fight, I had to keep going and checking till I got to a point where I don't even care anymore. I don't want to check anymore because it's driving me insane. So you kept doing it to a point that you're so sick of it, and then one day you're just indifferent. So maybe it's part of the process to keep checking. I find that when it's just like a kid, don't touch that. The stove's hot. They're going to go touch this hot stove. Just keep checking till you're sick of it. And you're like, I don't even want to keep checking anymore. And then that's the day that you're going to stop. That's my best advice for that. It's not really rocket science for that one. There's not really big theoretical question, or way to answer that. This is a really great one. This totally pertains to me. I want to move to another country, but everyone thinks I'm crazy. Do it. People are going to judge you either way. Just freaking do it. Move to another country. Do the move. The regret of not doing the move is going to be so much more greater than if you do it and it sucks. At least you tried. This is such an easy concept. Sometimes we forget it because it's like we allow the opinion of others to... It's just like when you love someone. A lot of times when people love somebody, and it only comes in love because love is so powerful, that they don't give a shit what anyone else says. It's like the worst partner for them, but they don't care. But at the end, then they're like, I should listen to everybody. But at least you went through it. Because when you say, I should listen to everybody, it's not as big of a regret as like when you're like, I should have been dating that person. Then you're still in touch with that toxic person, but you haven't found out yet is toxic. And you're like, every time that you're dating someone, you're like, should I have been with that person? But at least now you figured it out. You have to do things to figure it out. You're not a tree and you're not stuck places. Go and explore your freaking life, man. Stop dreaming and living for others, because have you guys not watched those things where people that are in their 80s and 90s in nursing homes are telling their biggest regrets? And it's like, I should have done things more for myself and not listen to other people's opinions. Do it. Do the move. Wear the crazy outfit. Go out to this crazy thing. Date that psycho that everyone's telling you is a psycho. Because you know that deep down, that question will always linger if you don't. Okay. Obviously, there's other characters. I'm not saying date every psycho, but I'm, again, using that term really loosely. If it's someone that's just been out of jail for murder and people are saying, hey, don't date that guy, please don't date that guy. Okay. But up to your own discretion. I'm speaking as if you guys are my friends and you have good discretion. Please, talk to a counselor. But one thing I know is sometimes the people that know you the best are the ones that prevent you from doing the things that you want to do the most, because their judgments of you are the harshest and they trigger the spots that you're the most vulnerable, and it prevents you from doing what you need to do. Do what you need to do. We're only on this earth for God knows how long, for such a limited time. And then you think that you have time because you've lived this great healthy life, and then sickness hits, health declines. Something happens in life that you need to you're unable to be as mobile as you used to, or you have to stick around for something that's come up. That time will pass and the thing that you want to do will no longer be as readily available. But if you have the time to do it, if you have the capacity to do it, and you're able to do it, just go do it. What's crazy is listening to other people give their opinion, and it's something that perhaps they don't want to do, or again, they can't see past what they know or what they think. I, in general, would just stop asking people, and then people will be like, oh, well, you just ask people that will support your decision. No, I ask people that have been in that position before and what their answer is. So if I'm going to make a big move, I go into forums where people have made big moves, especially, for example, to the place that I want to go. And instead of hearing people knock the idea down, they're just giving their support in other ways. Like, I would maybe move to this area. I would make sure that I have this much with me. But they're not people that are knocking down the idea of moving in general. So that's where I think that, again, remember, I did this in another Dear Nas episode where it's like, you got to surround yourself by people that will support your dreams. And by support doesn't always mean saying yes, yes, yes. It means giving you the best advice for the things that you want to do. I want to move to this part of the country. I want to move to this part of the city. Okay, great, but that's going to be a little bit more expensive. Maybe start with this, then move your way up so that you're not just thrown into something and then you're like, I shouldn't have done this in the first place. It kind of aligns with what you want to do and helps you move on your way up. But they're not completely saying, no, don't go at all. That's crazy, you know? Or you want to move to this area of the city, you didn't, that's in a bad area of the city. You don't want to move to that area, move to this area. They're still supporting what you want to do, but they're just giving you little bit more cleaner advice because they've been through it before. Those are the people that you need to align yourself with. Those are the people that you need to talk to. If you have a supportive family, supportive friends, great. Something that I don't have. Every time I make a decision, I have to go find people that have done it before and get their opinions and what they say on it. Because unfortunately, when it comes to me and my family, we don't speak the same language when it comes to the free spirit I am. And it's just, they don't understand the constant moving around and me finding myself. Like, their brains don't work in the way that my brain works, in the very free spirit, and like really finding myself in this life and the kind of, and I don't want to say woke because it's not woke, like it's not conspiracy theory woke, but it's like reconnecting to who I am as a person, you know, instead of like doing the things that I've been told to do my entire life. And sometimes, and this is just going off on a tangent, the things that I find out about myself are some things that people have told me throughout life. So maybe it's just better that I stick to, you know, in that case, what I know, but not all. And I'm starting to find out that 90%, I have to rewire how I think about certain things because I've been so brainwashed by society and people around me. Brainwash is very culty, so I don't like to use these really dramatic terms, but it is kind of like a brainwash. Like, you have to live your life a certain way, and that's the only way you're going to be successful, and that's bullshit. And I don't know how I got on this topic, but yes, here we are. Okay, I remember what we were talking about, and it was, should I move to another country? Because people think that I'm crazy. Do it. Do the move. Sorry, I had to pause it and kind of find it. Here's a good one that I found. Is blocking someone petty or powerful? I feel like if you're asking this question, you're still thinking about that person and what their needs and their feelings are. And you need to stop that. Because you're having the thought of blocking them for a reason. Something about them is triggering you, is bothering you. And if that's the case in that moment, and even if it's not the case, who gives a shit? Block them. Block whoever you need to so that your mental health can thrive to its fullest. And what I do is I mute. Sometimes I don't, there's times that I just completely remove. But as I've gotten more wiser and older by age, I just allow people to stay there. And then eventually they delete or block me or remove me from there. So they're not following me, but I'm still following them. And then when I catch that they're not following me anymore, I'll remove them. But I think part of that comes from, and I'm not saying that you're going to be this person that does it, but something about that person is triggering you. And I used to be that person that if they bothered me, they triggered me, they're liking everyone else's post but not mine. I don't give a fuck what they think. I will block them or I will remove them. I don't need to see them. Now I've gotten used to the art of muting people. And their stories and their stuff just doesn't pop up for me. And I think that that's totally fucking okay. Do whatever you need to do so that you can thrive and be the best version of you. And if that means that someone keeps popping up or that you feel now that you're checking, because this ties into the other question, like how do I stop checking their social media? It's becoming too much. You get to a point where you just eventually block. And that's why sometimes, like, you could be friends with someone for 30 years and you guys don't talk anymore, but they're still on your socials. But the person that you dated, or sometimes the people closest to you later on in life that trigger you so much, you end up blocking them and you never refollow them ever again. It's just one of those phenomena of social media. Fucking do it. Do whatever the fuck you need to do, because you are not going to thrive if you don't do things for you, or you don't at least start doing things for you. So that's, I'm just going to leave it at that. It's very simple for me when it comes to that. I'm very black and white. So I'm just going to leave that one there. I love these identity, purpose, growth questions. I feel lost and disconnected. How do I find clarity? This has, for me, this happened, and this ties in with I want to move to another country. Do people think I'm fucking crazy? You might be acting crazy. Yeah, sure, because like you're fucking, I feel lost and disconnected. I know I sure did, so I moved. And I found, and I, like I said, I stripped down to the bare minimum. I was on very minimal income. I took off my nails and my lashes. I didn't want to be fucking defined by how I look. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to work out as much, so I lost that too. And one thing I learned about myself is yes, my self worth is tied into my exercise. Not necessarily to how I look, but to my exercise. My self worth is tied into how much discipline I have around food. These are things I had to work on. I became a better cleaner when I was gone because that's some of the only things that I could do. I worked on my career, the thing that I'm passionate about, with it, my podcasting when I moved, and my blogging when I moved, and I went for more walks, and I appreciated just being able to walk out of the house without feeling I had to put on my mask of I'm this person, I have to look a certain way. And sometimes you don't heal those things. Again, heal is a very loose term, but you don't heal or you don't stop being those things, but you're more self-aware of it. And you're more aware of when they come on and why they come on. So I feel lost and connected. How do I find clarity? If I would suggest the first thing to do is move away from the environment that gives you comfort. Because apparently you're feeling lost and connected in an area that's supposed to be very comfortable, so you're already very disconnected from the environment as well. If that's hard to do, because not everyone can do it, again, I'm just giving you what I've gone through, but the next step would be to really just get down to the bare minimum and journal. I have a lot of, oh wow, my mic almost fell. I'm moving my arms around now. I'm getting passionate about this, you guys. I have a lot of tools on my blog, www.thepursuitofhappiness.com. It's in the show notes. I have a journal that I use to journal stuff. So it's a 365-day aligned journal. Get out your freaking journal. If you need one, there's a link on my website. Get out your journal, you guys. Start journaling who you think you are, what you are. I'm a mom. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. I'm a mother. I'm a bodybuilder. I'm a podcaster. I'm a blogger. Write down who you are or what you think you are. Write down what you like. Write down what you love. Write down what you hate. Write down what you want to get rid of. I don't want to always be attached to having my nails done. I want that the day that my nail falls off, I'm not screaming out of discomfort because I feel like my identity is lost because I freaking lost a nail. I want that the day that I don't have lashes on, I don't feel like I'm not who I am and I can walk out in public because I don't have lashes on. You know? Write all these grievances down and reread them every day. And see what it is that you really want to get rid of and what it is that you want to change, and then write that down. Every day that you live is an opportunity for you to self-discover and be more self-aware. You can never be a perfect person, but I think that being more self-aware brings you to that identity of being near perfection or closer to who you actually are than you have been since birth. And this is something that comes over time. This is something that comes with wisdom, with aging, with time. So also be very kind to yourself. The first step is that you've acknowledged that you feel lost and disconnected. And that is huge because a lot of people don't even get to that. They feel like they just keep keeping on and they don't realize how in the slums they are. So the fact that you feel it and you need clarity is kind of like step one in like an NA program or a 12-step program, you know? You got this. You are going to be able to get through it. Just be self-aware of things. What triggers you? What triggers you? What bothers you? What do you like? What do you not like? What do you want more of? Write it all down. Because now your thoughts are on paper and it kind of becomes a little bit more concrete. And then moving forward from that, when it comes to the changes, like if you're really nailing like what kind of changes you want to do with your life, really just work on something, like I've said before so many times, 5 minutes a day that can change it. For example, flexibility. I want to be more flexible. And I'm talking physically flexible. So every day, I don't want to go stretch for 20 minutes. Sometimes it gives me anxiety thinking about being back in the gym for like 3 hours because that's what I was. I want to build back up to that. I don't want to scare myself off from the idea. So instead, now it becomes like 5 minutes a day. What can I do? And I've been walking, and I've been walking more. And I've just been really focusing on, because for me, it's really bad how my self-worth is tied into my body mass and what I eat and how disciplined I am with food. That can make or break my day. And I have to find a way to not overcome that, but work on that so that I am able to be human and still go out and not necessarily feel like, fuck, I can't go out. People can't see me like this. Like, first of all, no one cares. No one gives a fuck. They're all in their own world. They're stars in their own movies and their own life and their own world. But because I'm the star in mine, that's what I think, and that's something that I have to overcome. I've gone to a point actually, and I'm digressing, to a point where I don't feel as much as like everyone's paying attention to me. It's more about how I feel about myself that I've kind of nailed it down and become more self-aware of that. But absolutely, you're going to have your days. And as long as you're just aware that you're having it, it will help it. Like, I'm having another one of those days. What do I need to do? Should I just go for like a 5-minute walk to get over it? Or should I just put my head into something else so I kind of forget the feeling and just kind of move? You find your rhythm. But feeling lost and disconnected is huge, and it's powerful. And it means that you can feel and that you're missing something. And that's a huge thing. And I think that's so powerful. People are able to get to a point like that because it means that you are a little bit more connected with who you actually are. So maybe you're not as disconnected as you think. Maybe you're actually a lot more connected with who you are as a person, because now you're listening to your intuition a little bit more, and the signs that your body or your health or your mind or your day-to-day is giving you, you're actually trying to consider. So that's huge. Just give yourself props for that. The rest that I included, like the whole journaling and writing it down and just moving away from your environment, that's things that I would recommend because it worked for me. But definitely, if moving away is tough, get a journal, write everything down. Everything. List it. And review those lists every day. And just do one thing every day, 5 minutes, that's going to change that behavior that you absolutely hate, that's making you feel lost and disconnected. It's the best advice that I could have, being on a podcast and your podcast host, not necessarily a therapist, but again, things that have worked for me, especially someone that really struggles mentally with mental health. Everyone thinks I have it to get all together, and I don't. And again, these questions all are like, this is something that has to do with, it's other people's problem. Who cares what they think? Who cares? Why do you care what they think? People always think, like, sometimes my brother fights with me and he's like, oh, like, you portray on social media that you're so fucking perfect and your life is not perfect. You're asking me for money. I never once in my fucking life go on social media and pretend that I'm perfect. My entire podcast is about finding fucking happiness because I don't feel like I'm fucking perfect. Like, I don't know where they get this from. Maybe it's the way that sometimes people wear clothes or just being themselves. Like, those girls that are on social media, on TikTok, wherever, they have blogs and they're like, how to look expensive for less. Maybe I'm one of those. Maybe I just give off that energy. But I don't fucking go around and pretend that I'm perfect. I have fucking mental health issues. My entire podcast is about me being a binge eater, fucking ADHD, finding fucking happiness. And I watch these fucking shows that I'm happy and it makes me happy. I never once go and say, I'm the most perfect person on earth. I don't even have a fucking career laid out yet. Where the fuck do I go around saying that I'm perfect? But see how passionate I just got about explaining myself to him? I stopped explaining myself to people that don't care don't care to understand me. They don't deserve that explanation. I hopefully put it out here on a podcast where people can resonate and understand that these are just things that we have to deal with day in and day out, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, people. are just bound to misunderstand you, and that is none of your fucking business. Don't allow that to deter you or to make you feel like you're unable to get to where you want to go because of other people's fucking opinions. I'm sorry that I wear the same fucking outfit every day for 2 months, which I have been since I've been here because I, tied into my body mass and I feel fat. So I've just been wearing black, entire, like big fucking black sweaters. I went to an expensive restaurant last night and I wore a hooded black sweater because I feel so ashamed about my body weight. And I'm sorry that I look perfect wearing it. Like I look like I'm fucking made of money because I'm wearing a big... That's not my fucking problem. Because in my head, I think I'm fucking poor and I'm pissed off at myself. How am I portraying that I'm perfect? That's other people's fucking issue. I'm sorry that I can wear it well. I'm sorry to myself that I'm in such a shitty place in my life, but I'm able to show that I'm perfect. Wow, I should go fucking win an Oscar. I don't pretend though. It's just what people perceive. So in their minds, if I'm not crying every day and fucking growling at people's feet, I'm pretending that I'm perfect. That's not a me issue. I just know that crying every day is not going to help me out of the situation that I am. And if other people want me to cry every day because it's going to make them feel better, that now I'm not showing my life was perfect, that's a them issue. That's not a Nas issue. So I'm not going to worry myself with what other fucking people think. Because then there's going to be some people that are going to think I'm fucking fat. And there's going to be some people that think that my body's perfect. And I'm still not going to listen to those people. Because how I see myself in my head is I'm not happy with how I am. So the people that are like, you don't need to, you look great, trust me, like before you were too skinny. You think I'm going to fucking listen to those people? I'm telling you, fuck what other people think. And you know what? Why is it bad to seem like you have it together? People are always, especially when it comes from someone like my brother, he's always like, don't act that way. People judge you on the way that you act. So I shouldn't act like I'm not perfect by your standards, by your definition of it. Again, I'm not saying that I do. I'm just saying, he's the one that's always preaching. People are always judging you based on how you dress, how you look. Don't act this way because you never know who you're going to run into. But everyone thinks that I have it all together. It's supposed to be a fucking issue now? Fake it till you make it. Don't fake it too much. Like, I don't fake too much. But I'm not going around fucking complaining to everybody that I meet about my life. It's none of anyone's fucking business. There's boundaries that I have against who I involve into my life issues. Life is going to keep on lifing. And it's up to you to know where the boundary lies. And I know my boundary. If me, just being me, going out into the everyday with enough energy so that I can fucking make it through the day is me pretending that I have it all together and I'm faking that I'm perfect, then fuck you. You're the wrong person. And I don't even care about your opinion. You're just like one of those bots on the internet that I don't give a shit about. Don't fuck with me. Especially when I'm onto something and I'm paving a path for myself. Do not fuck with me. I don't care who you are. So maybe in that sense, I have it all together because I feel like I'm not going to allow someone's opinion to destroy what I haven't come this far to only come this far. Not based on someone's opinion that has no fucking idea of the shoes that I've walked in. By choice, because I choose not to tell them. So let people think whatever the fuck they want to think, because their opinion of you is none of your fucking business. Keep going on with your life. Trust me when I say that. I really got fucking invested in that one. How do I stop shrinking to make others comfortable? So I'm supposed to walk around with tears in my eyes every day. My life sucks. I'm not where I want to be. So that people are comfortable around me, because other than that, I'm pretending that I'm fucking perfect. Fuck you. That ties in together. Okay? Anyways. What do I do when the life I thought I wanted isn't enough? Search for what else is enough. And this doesn't mean like going and jumping out of planes every day. You're not looking for a dopamine rush, but like I feel like it also ties in with another question that I see here that I'm going to kind of say out loud. How do I know if I'm living in alignment with my purpose? Maybe you're not quite yet, but then that's why the next question comes up. So then what do I do when the life I thought I wanted isn't enough? Keep searching for that fucking purpose. Some people quit their jobs and go for their passion. Some people join. For a great example is Natalie Eva Marie. You know, she's the wrestler. She had this great career. She's in bodybuilding. She is always at the bodybuilding expos, like the Arnold Expo, because she's a reigning athlete. She had a husband, blah, blah. But she says that when she started working on the Hopeaholics podcast is when she felt 1,000% like she found it. Like, this is it. This is what every step of my fucking life has brought me to this point right here, to be on this podcast to help people, because she herself is an addict. And maybe there's more. I know for me there's more. First I got to get my career together, but I also want to give back to people. I want to be able to support, to motivate, because I've been there. I've been there when no one fucking listens to you, but you have so much belief in yourself, but you're just surrounding yourself with the people that do not fucking believe. And I don't think I see a lot of people out there that look necessarily like me, that are Persian, that are whitewashed, so to speak, that are single. You know, there are lots of single moms, but like with my characteristic skin color, I want to be just one extra person, one more person that can be in a space where I'm comfortable enough to be like, just fucking go for it, and who cares what people think. Trust me when I say this. People will say whatever they want to you because they only will speak from a place that they understand. And likewise me. Sometimes when people want advice, I speak from this place that I've been to these places, and I'm unable to give certain advice because I've never been in that situation before. But I'm confident enough to know that I can either learn it or I'll go through it. And what I give is beneficial and educational and motivates people. I will always want to fucking motivate people. Because we deserve that. We deserve to not be stuck in a fucking rat race all day long. We deserve to be happy. Do I wake up happy every day? Absolutely, because I'm so grateful. I might not be where I am yet, but I'm also so grateful that I still have things to be happy about. Because sometimes other people wake up every day and they're fucking cranky. And I'm like, but if you are going to be like that, okay, take aside that they're not morning people. Like, go do something about it. I don't have the luxury that you have, living off of other people. Go find someone to fucking use then. I don't know. Like, what else would you want to fucking, like, what should I tell you? Be miserable? Like what do you want? What do you want from me? Those are the steps that you have to fucking figure out. But what I can tell you is that you don't also have to live that way. Always so fucking angry at the world. It's not the world's fault. I mean, for a while there, yeah, while I was growing up, it was the fucking world's fault. It was my parents' fault. It was this person's fault. It was they didn't love me enough. They didn't fucking tell me this. They taught me wrong. Oh, when you fucking get a job, you don't have to work as hard. That was the most bullshit thing I was ever told. In fact, when you get a good job, you have to work twice as fucking harder. But in my entire life, I was told, when you get a good job and you get paid good, you don't have to work as hard. That's bullshit. You have to work 10 times harder. So then I started taking back the control and not being the victim anymore. And that's why I just don't talk to certain people about certain things, because it always becomes a victim story to them, or so what they think. And I don't give a fuck what they think. So I just stop telling them, because I know for myself what I've experienced. Not one person on this fucking planet has experienced what I've experienced, what you've experienced, what that person's experienced, but we can change it. And you don't always have to be fucking angry. And maybe that's where people feel uncomfortable with me, because I'm able to look at it in such a positive way, because I believe in myself and the opportunities that there are out there. I just have to fucking find them. But I'll be damned if I'm going to let someone that fucking I grew up in the same household, especially that I grew up in the same household with, to tell me any fucking different, because I know exactly, I might not have experienced the shit as you, but I fucking saw what we experienced, and there's a whole nother fucking world out there for us. And it doesn't have to be this way. And if you're not going to come along with me for the ride, when I graduate university, which I'm going back to school for, it's going to be one of the things I'm going to talk to you guys about once I get to Mexico. I'm not inviting anyone from my family except for my daughter, who supports me every fucking thing that I do. She's only 12. Of course she's going to support you. Great. That's why I'm doing it for us. Imagine if I had a kid that was like, fuck, you're so dumb, you're going to go do that? I'd be like, forget it. I'm not going to do anything for her. I'll just keep, yeah, those kind of things motivate you. When people say I'm motivated by my kids because, they're the ones that will love you no matter what, that unconditional love. And I'm so grateful that me and my daughter have that relationship. One of my other girlfriends, she has never once fucking told me the things that I do. In fact, she goes and research things and comes back and tell me, oh, you should try this because in that field that you want to go to, this is so popular. That's the support. I have other family. They're like, oh, okay, really? Cool. Let's see if you finish. You're not coming. You're not coming to the graduation. You're not coming to the new house. You're not coming to the wedding because you didn't fucking support anything. The only thing that you did give me was money. Thank you. So I'll pay you back on that and I'll give you a little bit extra for fucking interest. But you're not invited into any fucking good thing in my life, especially everything that you doubted me for doing. When I get there, you're not invited to that. My podcast shows, if it becomes a show, you're not invited to that. If I'm going to be public speaking, you're not invited to that. I'm not going to block you from seeing it because you're going to see that it's happening. But you're not getting a direct invitation from me because you're the one that fucking doubted me. So, thank you to my haters, but you've motivated me. And that's the motivation that I find. Okay? So, what do I do in my life? When the life that I thought it isn't enough, I'm going to go fucking search. Because that's exactly what happened when I decided I'm not going to fucking be in this rat race anymore. This isn't enough for me. I need something to fulfill me. I have a purpose. I was put on this earth for a fucking purpose and I haven't found it yet. But when I find it, you bet your ass, everyone's going to be along. Especially my pursuers. Pursuers, do not fucking give up on yourself. I'm going to just end this here, okay? I know it kind of became really passionate, this one. I'm going through it. But this is the passion that I want to bring to you guys so that you guys know we can do whatever the fuck we put our hearts to. Even if it means we have to work 3 fucking jobs and do whatever we got to do to get there. We can do it. Don't ever doubt yourself. You can do it. And don't let the people that are small, that don't see that for you, that don't have the confidence in themselves to be able to confide, to give confidence to other people. I've never seen a public speaker that's not confident. Because every fucking person that gets out there to tell people that they're able to do it, it's because they're confident because they did it themselves. So think about that too. That was heated. But that was the passion that I want to exude and I want to share. With that being said, pursuers, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Pursuit of Happiness podcast. I am your host, Nas Kazimi. Don't forget that all in the show notes, you have my website, my blog, www.thepursuitofhappinessnas.com. You can find more of these topics in there. On the blog, I really talk about things that I love, experiences that have happened to me, things that I'm curious about. I go research and I blog about it. You can find my socials on there. Feel free to DM me, send me messages. I'm just so excited to hear from people that are pursuers and listening. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Podbean, anywhere that you get your podcasts, really. iHeart. I love you guys. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for listening to me. I promise this is just the beginning. Until next time, pursuers, I will probably be in Mexico the next time I podcast. But until then, should be this week. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good day and the rest of the week.